Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Exotic Astrology, and we are with Kṣaṇāti ji today. Like we were recently, and we discussed many charts of Amritanandamayi Ma and some of my god brothers who I know personally from last 10 years almost. So we discussed on a very spiritual chart, and the other charts were of common man, so that we can also get the confidence to do spiritual practices and not just think that it's only for the divine people. So now we will discuss some other charts. So the stage is all yours.
Namaste, Bhabajeet. Thank you for the introduction. That was a great first part where we looked at both the three regular charts and also of the guru to look at these different vibrations, how the chart influences us, but how the guru may even transcend the chart. So that was very profound and enjoyable. The next guru, which I would like to discuss, is Shri Yogananda ji. Yogananda ji, born January 5th, 1893, was a great guru and teacher. And he's most widely known here in the United States as the person who kind of brought yoga to the Eastern world. So he brought yoga to America. When you're looking at, from a spiritual perspective, some things that are very profound about his chart is we're looking at a ascendancy in Maga Nakshatra. This is the sign of Leo, and this is Maga. And then the moon here is also in Maga Nakshatra. So you're having a strong Maga vibration. Now, Maga has to do with leadership and ancestral karma. So, and Simha, Leo, is considered fixed karmic sign. So you could think of many ways as Yogananda's destiny in terms of him being popular, because the moon is magnetic in its highest quality, and so is Leo magnetic. And the sun is in signification position in the 5th house here. So the sun is in its natural house. So there is this signification here that his popularity, his success, his destiny, it was fate. It was fixed. All of Yogananda's energy and what he became and his success and his popularity, it was his dharma. It was his destiny to share yoga everywhere across the world. So this is a very strong fixed karmic ascendant here, and Maga Nakshatra. It's ruled by Ketu. So there's a strong ancestral karma coming through into the leadership. But another nice aspect that I really like to mention about Yogananda is his Mars-Jupiter conjunction here in the 8th house, because you have the Bhabajeet yoga. The ruler of the 8th house, Jupiter is there in 23 degrees, and it's conjunct with its ally Mars. And remember, he's a Leo ascendant, so Mars is a functional benefic. So this is a really, really positive combination. Now, normally you wouldn't think 8th house, but again, we're seeing with these gurus very strong conjunctions in their 8th houses. This one, Bhabajeet yoga. So this person in their writings, which is the autobiography of the yogi, they taught about enlightenment. They reach different celestial dimensions. So Yogananda actually describes in his book different dimensions he would travel to. So this is an ability for astral travel, traveling to another dimension through meditation, which is the experience of samadhi. So we're talking about his incarnative form, which is Yogananda as a physical being able to experience samadhi. So this is someone that, not from a perspective of Mahasamadhi, but we're talking about experiencing samadhi through the lifetime. Although because of Bhabajeet yoga here, you could also argue that he has achieved the Mahasamadhi prior to this lifetime. But we know that Yogananda achieved the Mahasamadhi in his lifetime because he left through the meditation. And this is very interesting because we look at the Rahu position in the 9th house. Rahu position in the 9th house, his Rahu Dasha was 1941. And the Dasha when Yogananda left his physical body was Rahu Ketu, Rahu Mahadasha, Ketu Antardasha. So when you're talking about the perspective of the spiritual evolution, Rahu in the ninth house, first of all, in the beginning of his Rahu Dasha, it really is when he became popularity as a guru. See, because he was always a spiritual teacher and he had great gurus. And by the way, his guru was a Jyotisha. This is when people began to worship him. And sometimes there's confusion when it becomes to worshiping a guru. So you can see Rahu in the ninth house. The confusion is that the guru is God and that you are not God. See, the confusion is there is separation. In other words, the guru is there, the guru is God, but the guru is supposed to reflect to you of your own divine light. But of course, during his Rahu Dasha, people had him worshiping him, and this was also in a fixed karmic sign. So him to be worshipped as a guru was also a fixed karma. And Rahu is the unpaved territory here. So it is something that his soul needed to experience, was to be worshipped as a guru. And still today in America, even though he has left his material body, many people worship him as a guru. But I think it's very interesting that he left his body, he took his Mahasamadhi during the Rahu Mahadasha Antardasha. Because this is something where it's saying, okay, no, he's not dying. This isn't what we call death. This is what we call moksha. And that's something that he's transcending in the chart here. I think by leaving during his Rahu Ketu Dasha, it shows Mahasamadhi. It shows moksha. It shows that it doesn't mean that he doesn't choose to reincarnate to come back and help here. But I think he already did his karma by bringing yogic philosophy to the entire world. So it's possible Yogananda no longer needs to be reincarnated anymore. And that's what I would like to say about that. I hope that was interesting, Bhabajeet.
Yeah, if you could just show the chart once again.
Yes, please.
Yeah, this is something very interesting which I have noticed, and I also have one chart which also has some similar placements. Like I have seen in my experience, if moon is linked with the ascendant sometimes, then also the person has a very high potential for spirituality. Now, this is a bit surprising for everybody, that how the mind can by being in the ascendant can give that. But well, as I said earlier, that moon is the planet in which whose sign Jupiter gets exalted. So uh, there's a possibility for the person to channelize the higher emotional energies into spiritual emotions for God. And that's where bhakti yoga culminates, as Lord Krishna says in the Gita at the end, after describing all the spiritual paths and spiritual processes. So I have another chart like this where moon is also in the ascendant, which I will show, but I wanted to highlight that here. And that Rahu's presence in the ninth house, that foreign stuff, that can also be seen from there. Wonderful chart this is.
Excellent point on the moon. And I think English does a very bad job at translating Sanskrit. But one of my favorite translations of Somaya is the emblem of devotion. So what you're talking about is 100% true, because then the devotion will be influencing the personality of the person. So not everything that we choose to be devoted to is positive.
Exactly.
But if we put devotion in the spiritual direction, that is the most pure kind of divine devotion there is. So again, I love the moon as a devotional source.
Fantastic.
So I'd love to see your charts, Bhabajeet.
Yeah, I will just start the share. Start share. Okay. Yeah, this was, you can see the chart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was the chart which I was talking, debilitated moon in the ascendant. Now, here again, as I had shown with my earlier charts, you can again see the combination, the link between the ninth house and the first house, the Lagna. Moon is the ninth lord and it is in the Lagna. And here also, like some of the earlier charts, the Lagna lord is in the 11th house. So that is again a very good placement for material success, or either ways you call it, financial success or anything you want. And you can see the 10th house is again very strong here. As you said in that chart, that the 10th house will pull the person towards this direction. So here you see the 10th lord sun is in own sign, then Jupiter is there, then Mercury is also there. It's a very fantastic chart. And Venus is again in the ninth house. That also I have seen. Now, although there people say that Venus represents material stuff and material comforts, so generally Venus is linked with the ninth house. They say that the person may be a bit concerned about material luxuries when he or she goes to spiritual programs. They say like this. But I've seen, if this is in a water sign, this is not necessarily true, because water sign can give more of that, absorption and emotional comfort stuff. So which is very true in this regard. And it's a very, very, very powerful chart, and I know this person very well, and we keep talking almost once every 15 days. And this person is currently materially, he's preparing for the government services in India, as they know it as UPSC exam. And it's one of the toughest exams in the entire world because of the competition, and some say it is the toughest exam in the world. So yes, I have told him that your Mercury is conjunct the sun. So that is why he's in Mercury Mahadasha now. He's in Mercury Saturn. So there are high chances that he gets through, and there are other things also in the Dasamsa which is indicated, where he might end up in a government position or something like that. But in my experience, at a spiritual level, this person has been a very big leader in the spiritual community when I was there in Chennai. And this was there during the Antardasha of Mars. So during Mercury Mars, this period, if you see in the Dasha, from 2012 February to 2013 February, during that time he was in a very, very, very big leadership position. Because Mars is in the 11th house of name, fame, recognition. And he did fantastic in that. And later on, when Rahu started, he went to a different place for education. And when Jupiter started, he left all the stuff, and he went to prepare for the entrance exams. And now during Saturn, as you can see, he's also undergoing the Sade Sati. It's like Saturn's influence is very strong now, Dasha and transit wise, both ways. So yeah, that is one thing. Any comments on this chart?
It's a very amazing chart, and I definitely there all of those significations in the 10th house. I think government position seems to be a great alignment for this individual.
Yeah.
Jupiter Sun conjunction, they're in Leo, which is already having to do with organizational or hierarchies. But when we're looking at from a specific spiritual evolutionary perspective, like you mentioned, the Venus in the 9th house in a Cancer sign is a very interesting position. This would mean from a spiritual perspective, okay, yeah, Venus has to do with finances. It has to do with romantic love. And also we see that Venus is the ruler of this person's 7th house. For his spiritual evolution, spirituality isn't just about praying in a temple, praying. Sometimes it's about having the right relationship with the material world and the romantic world. So when I look at the chart of this person, especially Rahu in the 2nd house, Ketu in the 8th house, Venus rules the 2nd house and the 12th house, but Venus is in the 9th house. So this means he cannot, even though he's going to be very successful, government position, money, and all of these things, he cannot overvalue, because he's going to have money. He's going to have recognition. He's going to have success. And when these things happen, for his spirituality, he is not to overvalue these material world, and he is not to undervalue the material world. And a lot of times I have Venus in the 9th house. So I can also share, it's in Libra, but I can also share from the personal experience that you're not supposed to overvalue money, because family is more important than money. God is more important than money. Health is more important than money. Then you can kind of negotiate where you want money to fit in. But those three things are always important than anything material. But you also can't completely give up money. So you're not supposed to, in this chart, there's a lot around money and finances and things like that. And he should not be attached to money. But he should not forget that it deserves a certain amount of importance in the world as well. So again, that Libra and the 12th house vibration. How do I find the balance between the material and spiritual world? I'm going to be successful materially, but I don't want to give it priority over my family or my spirituality or my health.
And that's the thing which is very interesting. If you see the degrees, his Venus is Atmakarak, planet with the highest degree.
Yeah.
And now Venus Atmakarak, I've seen these people very much into, dressing and beauty and, keeping oneself good looking. Here again, then this is forming the 9th house, in the sign of Cancer. So it's a very spiritually oriented Venus. This is what I have realized.
Yes. And this person, they haven't gone through Venus Dasha. When is
Yeah, it's on the line.
what's that?
It's on the line after Ketu Mahadasha, after 2027.
So that's very interesting too.
Yeah.
So that means the person, they might do certain things in the earlier portion of their life that they will no longer do anymore in the rest of their life, because they're becoming much more evolved.
Yes. I will just pull out the other charts.
Maybe he used to like beer, but not anymore. Maybe
I have to ask this question the next time I talk to him.
in Venus Dasha, he will stop drinking the beer.
Okay. But yeah, his moon Venus are in trine, so he's very fond of milk products. Extremely fond, my God. He's like, you give him milk products, he doesn't need anything else.
It's a beautiful chart. Very
Yeah.
he's going to be a very successful person.
Yeah, I'll just pull out this chart. Yeah, this is one of my favorite personal charts, and he's my senior. He's 2 years senior to me, elder to me. I mean, academically, he's 1 year senior, but I just love this person. And I can just spend days and weeks and months, and sometimes, of course, we don't get time to talk much. He's in the US, and he recently got married. It's an amazing chart. It's like the chart is amazing. That's okay, fine. But if you meet him in person, he's very good, very good, very good. And I'm very lucky to have his association. So here also, if you see, that the 10th lord is Venus and the 9th lord is Mercury. They are again conjunct. The Dharma Karmadipati Yoga is again there. And also Sun is also sitting there. So it's Sun, as you know, the natural significator of the soul and Atma and all this, that's very interesting. So again here the Lord of the Lagna is in the 12th house. So that again makes him very detached. So one of his most frequently used statements is that I have done my part. Whatever God wants to give me, he will give. It's not that, oh, I have done it, my money should double in 7 years. Well, he's like, okay, if God wants, it may become, triple also. But if God doesn't want, then maybe it stays the same or it goes down.
And it's Saturn return, right?
Yeah, Saturn is directly over those degrees now, actually. Yeah, so now it's like, and when Jupiter had entered his ninth house in Virgo 2 years back. From there, it was aspecting his fifth house, and that time he also got initiated into a mantra by one of the gurus, and it was like very lucky day for him that day. And amazing chart this is. Moon is in Digbala, Jupiter is exalted here in Cancer, and Jupiter is in Pushya nakshatra, and Pushya is also very famous for like spiritual stuff, and Ketu is also there. And he got married recently, so he got married to somebody who is also from the same spiritual community, from where he is. So it's like very is extremely lucky on those lines. And due to some reason, when this person had approached me for just looking into his chart, so I just saw seventh lord is moon. So then I don't know what happened. I just spontaneously said, that maybe it could be that your mother has a very strong say in finding the spouse. And then he told me that he had met 3 4 girls, and for going ahead with marriage, but nothing finalized and things were not working out. Then suddenly one day he called me and said, actually my mother called me and she said that there's a girl in Bombay, India, and I have seen her and I kind of like her. I think you will also like her. And then he told me that please pray, I'm going to look to meet that girl this time when I go to India very soon. And I was like, yes, I think she is the one. And the funny thing is, like you can see the Jupiter Ketu connection here, and his wife had got diksha from the same guru which he got recently 2 years back. And but his wife had got long back, in fact. It's like in my knowledge it was like some 7 8 years back only she had got diksha. And now both of them are situated in Los Angeles, and they are very much into spiritual stuff, and they're totally into spiritual communities, and like reading the scriptures every day, chanting mantras, and doing spiritual programs. It's an amazing chart this is, and very nice, very beautiful person. I have no words to describe this. So any comments on this chart?
Again, a very beautiful chart here. K2 Jupiter conjunction in the seventh house, and the Jupiter is an exaltation position. And this, for me, if we're looking at the spiritual evolution of this native, the person has lots of spiritual indications for evolution in their chart, especially Saturn related by the return over his 12th house. He's also a Rahu ascendant, so he's also going to be questioning always. And then you have Venus, Sun, and Mercury in the ninth house, which is very positive in terms of the Mercury exaltation, but that's a very logical minded person. So it doesn't mean that there's the exalted Jupiter, there's a lot of spiritual potential there, but the person has a logical nature to them as well. Now, that means that the marriage for them, especially because of the K2 Jupiter conjunction in the seventh house, is very beneficial for their spiritual evolution, especially if they have a partner who has a lot of faith. And when you told me that they're from the same spiritual community, I just got this warm feeling in my chest, because the partner helps act like a conductor for the other person to get to moksha for anyone who has K2 in the seventh house. And Jupiter is also there. So this person has a lot of spiritual evolutionary energy in their chart, but it gets double, triple activated when they get married to the right person. So I'm so happy that that happened.
Yeah, and regarding this Mercury you were just telling now, so in fact I still remember when I saw him first in 2011. For the first time I met him when it was like one of the satsang programs in Chennai, and We were just sitting, and I didn't realize we were just discussing on and on and on for 4 hours on some topic from the Gita, and I was like, time is just flowing like.
Yeah.
And suddenly I realized, it's late night, and otherwise they will not let me enter the hostels. I must leave.
Astrologers are the same way. They'll talk. They'll talk about some technical aspect 5-10 hours, and then all the other people who just like get their charts getting read are like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, so it's like fantastic. I mean, I still remember all the interactions with, and I've also tried my best to pull him to my channel, to make some videos together. But
Yeah.
he's like not very much interested in coming to the limelight or something like that.
I feel like the wife will bring a lot of bhakti into his life because the study of spirituality can sometimes be very academic.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
so it's good that that K2 Jupiter in the seventh house is there to bring in the bhakti yoga path.
Fantastic. This person is like that mixture of gyan is there with and bhakti is also there, and moon is also his atma karak. If you can see, it's in 29 degrees.
Yes.
So that again, that natural inclination towards more internal absorption that is there. And I'll just pull off one more chart very fast. And in this also, this is another chart, so you can also see the dharma karmadipati yoga is also there in the chart. The ninth lord and 10th lord, moon and mercury, are again conjunct. And this person is into serving cows, go seva. And Jupiter is exalted in the Pushya Nakshatra in the 10th house. And Pushya has things to do with cows in general. That represents the udder of the cow. So this is one way, by which you can, I mean, that's of course a very big generalization that somebody has Jupiter in Pushya in the 10th house will serve cows. That's a very big generalization. But what I want to say here is that sometimes we make astrology too much complex. If you can just use it simple, then it works many times. I've seen. Yeah, so these are the charts which I wanted to show, and here also, as I said, Lagna Lord Venus is in the ninth house. So basically, these are the principles which I'm demonstrating in all these charts. The connection of the Lagna with the ninth house or the ninth lord, and the 12th house, importance of the 12th house, and Jupiter and the ninth lord's placement. So these are some of the points which I wanted to, and I will stop this screen share now.
Thank you, Bhabajeet, for sharing this time and this discussion with me. It's always a blessing to hear your wisdom and your intention to help your clients with their spiritual evolution. So I just want to thank you again for taking this time.
Yeah, thank you very much also.